What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. And dear Lord, what has happened in the last few days? I don't know where to start. This is depressing. We're just going to get through it. We're going to talk about the news when it comes to Juventus and this freaking mercato that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I guess just getting rid of all your players and then bringing nobody of any quality is the way to go when it comes to Juventus. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it is Wednesday, July 18th, 2023. Of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news you care about each and every single day. Before we do anything though, do me a solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Once again, I remind you guys, if you see over here down in the corner, we have the Now We Can Talk Like Ben podcast channel, the other channel that I do. Once we get to another 100 subscribers, giving away another t-shirt. If you could, pop over there, hit that subscribe button, or if you want, follow on IG, Twitter, one of those things that helps as well. So go ahead and do that. Anyway, let's just get into it. Let's get in the news that we have for the day. And I don't know where to start except for, like, I've been sitting here, and obviously I haven't been on the channel the last couple of days. I've been busy with some other personal things, but it is freaking infuriating to me, and it's confusing as hell to see the way these rumors come when it comes to Juventus, comes to the players that they are pushing out and the players that they are maybe looking at, maybe not. Really, they're okay with their squad. Allegri doesn't ask for anybody. Allegri doesn't ask for anybody. How are you not asking for anybody after last season? And I understand, technically, Juventus should have finished second if it were not for the point deduction and everything that went along outside of the actual game. But at the same time, how are you going to tell me that this is good enough, especially when you're pushing out other players? And I get it. Quadrado, I've crapped on him, whatever. We don't need Juan Quadrado, especially given the Inter stuff, everything that's going on there. Perplexing to me. Bonucci's one that, again, I'm not going to push back too much, but I still will. I'll say I'm kind of disappointed in the way that goes. Outside of all the issues that I know everybody has with Bonucci, to me, I feel like just give him the last year, and maybe he was not going to leave. Maybe he decided he's going to fight this and just stick with it. I don't know. We'll see how that one rolls out. But when it comes to Juventus, there's not even a single name out there that, like, to me, excites, that seems to be pushing for anything when it comes to improving the squad, improving the club, and overall improving the final score and the final tally of points in the table for Juventus to be playing in the city, playing top four in Serie A, and of course playing in Champions League. So that's where I sit, and that's how I'm going to get into it when I start with today. All right, let's get in the news. Sorry, I needed my soapbox. All right, first up, Moise Kean, Sky Sports reporting that Moise Kean is still struggling with last season's injury. It's highly unlikely that he will leave with the team for the tour in America. This is actually one that I've kind of sat back here and been like, why is Moise Kean not a name that I'm hearing floated out there? Why am I not hearing about him on the transfer market? Why am I not hearing about a lot of this? Because obviously for the better part of like last winter and then last summer, it was always like, will Moise Kean leave? Will they try to sell him? Will they try to find somebody to sell him to? Well, looks like as it stands for right now, the answer is no, but he's going to stay with the club, and also he won't be playing those, so we'll see when he's going to get healthy and when he'll actually be an active part of the squad as well. Move on. If you care about these numbers, if for some reason you got this man's shirt, the latest update from Juventus is that Kostic will be wearing the number 11 for the upcoming season. So obviously going and taking that one now that it's been vacated. So Kostic, if you want a Kostic 11 shirt, there you go. Now's the time to buy that. Let's continue on and get into the next topic of the day. And of course, this is talking about one of the bigger names that's actually been associated with Juventus. And you can argue, I mean, I know there are torn feelings when it comes to this player, when it comes to Romelu Lukaku and his future in the Serie A and, of course, at your club. Well, Fabrizio Romano is reporting, though, that as all things stand, he understands that Saudi clubs keep pushing for Romelu Lukaku, working on new proposals, but still waiting to see what's going to happen with Juventus. Lukaku's priority has always been to continue in Europe, but Saudi side will insist again if the Juve deal, which is his priority, won't happen. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't need to rehash the Lukaku situation right now until anything's final, until either Vlahovic goes to PSG or, and they make that offer. But again, my personal preference would be not to have Lukaku in the club. I think that'd be a mistake. I don't know. I'm over here vetoing over my words. I guess one of the things that confuses me the most or I guess is more of it causes turmoil inside of me because I believe in Gentoli. I believe and I understand that Gentoli is, for all intents and purposes, a great mind when it comes to football, that he knows how to get things done. He is a key piece and one of the reasons why Napoli was so successful last season. Obviously, you also have Spalletti and everything that he brings to the table. But when it comes to Giannioli, I don't know. I guess I expected to have a little bit more of exciting picks, exciting gets, exciting pursuits. I don't know if it's just because of Juventus's financial situation that he's doing like a ramshackle way to get it done. That's the only thing that can make sense to me currently, because Lukaku doesn't seem a player to me that I would build around Juventus for the long term. Anyway, speaking of players that I would not build my club around for the long term, if you came to me and said, guys, I need a player, I need a guy to bring into the club, bring back to the club, I need a player that's going to be mentally fragile, who multiple times after games when he has failed, he will be crying. He has some moments, but otherwise there's multiple times when there are failures in the club. Instead of leading the club, instead of guiding it, instead of being the backbone of what you need for a successful Juventus, a guy who is up in years now, is getting up in years, who should be a I don't know, I guess a firm foundation for a club. We're not. We're going with the guy who's mentally fragile, who probably will be crying and probably doesn't know how to pick himself up when the game gets rough. And that is, of course, talking about the latest rumors when it comes to Alvaro Morata potentially coming back to the club. Mirko Di Natale is reporting that Morata, the possibility of a return to Juve is only viable if Chiesa departs. He would come back to Turin without hesitation after the inquiries made in the past few hours. There has been a new contact today with his entourage. However, Inter is leading the race for him. Obviously, we know right now Inter's doing the former Juve tour. If they can get every former Juventus player, regardless of how poor Juventus have played within the last few years, they're going to go after him. They want him. They want him because Beppe Morata, maybe he has something to prove and he thinks that he can get more out of these players than Juventus has been doing. We go on from that. We continue on, and we have a breakdown from Nico Schira talking about the numbers when it comes to Alvaro Morata's situation. He has a release clause for 21 million euros. His salary currently at Atletico Madrid is 6.5 million for this upcoming season and 5.5 million the seasons from 2024 to 2026. Inter have offered to Atletico Madrid 12 million euros plus 3 million euros as bonuses and a salary of 5 million per season. Roma have offered a contract until 2027 at $4.5 million per season. And Juve obviously are waiting around to figure out what the hell they're doing. And this is just every situation when it comes to Juve. They're just sitting around waiting for something to happen. So anyway, those are the numbers when it comes to the competition you have with Atletico Madrid, with Inter and with Roma there potentially. Obviously, he may want to link back up with Dybala in Rome. We continue on, and the next breakdown of this, Gazzetta dello Sport did say that Giannioli was in Milano to talk about Morata with his agent. This happened before the meeting that happened with Inter. So Juve, you're definitely hot and heavy in this one, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to keep as little personal opinion, even though I'm throwing a lot of it out there right now, but honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. Like that, this is a guy that I get it. Maybe you just want to go right back to old Allegri guys, and that's what we think is going to work. I think this is a completely misconstrued and mishandled situation, and that is the way that they end up going. I don't like it. This does not excite me, and honestly, it makes me feel like this upcoming season could potentially be a throwaway season with some of the names that are being linked, with some of the players you're pushing out. I don't know how I should expect as a fan of Juventus that they're going to be competing at the highest level. And then finally, the last bit that we have here, Mirko Di Natale, kind of following up with the same stuff he said before with a little bit more detail, said Juventus has started moving concretely. The talks have been positive, and they are considering the return of Alvaro Morata. However, it can only happen if Chiesa is sold. Federico Chiesa has never officially requested to leave the club. No staggering offer has been received yet. And that's the crux of my frustration right there. That's it. The crux of my frustration is that you're willing to part with a guy like Federico Chiesa. To me, a guy, unless there's some serious issues when it comes to injury and rehabilitation, that we think that there is no possibility of him getting back to be the quality of the player that he was in the 2020 Euros, as well as the quality of the player just that he could be as an Italian player, as the face of Juventus moving forward. That's the only way it makes sense to me is if they think they have broken baggage and they think that he will never be that player. To me, Federico Chiesa, when you brought him in, with his attitude, with his heart, with his passion, with the way he works and the way that he operates, to me, this was the guy that is the closest thing that could be a new up-and-coming Del Piero kind of face of Juventus. A guy that I could throw my support and my passion, that's a weird way to say that, but into and for moving forward. And to see that Juventus would potentially throw him away so callously, I understand you got to make some money, and I get there's a lot of hay to be made with some Italian names, especially given right now this financial situation isn't good. To me, this would be a final situation. The club's near death. I don't know what else to say. I just wouldn't make this move for Federico Chiesa, especially if you're just looking at it 1-to-1. Federico Chiesa's gone, and you're bringing back Alvaro Morata. Dear Lord. Please don't do that. That's all I ask the club. Please don't do this. It doesn't make sense to me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with my take when it comes to Alvaro Morata and when it comes to would you sacrifice Federico Chiesa to bring him back to the club? Let me know all that in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to your old lady for me.